This is part 2. We're talking about everything that happened in And Just Like That, season 2, episode 2. Miranda is finally home from the beach and Shay is back from their dinner with Tony Danza. Miranda's upset. She's like, I don't really know you. I didn't know that you were married. I don't even have your number memorized. Shay tries to make a little joke out of it and Miranda's like, no, I'm serious. And then Shay says, I have a lot on my plate. Can you not make this a thing right now? Once again, Shay is the main character in this relationship and Miranda is the supporting castmate. Moving on to Lisa. Her mother-in-law is in town. Lisa's freaking out. Like, everything has to be perfect for her mother-in-law because she's super critical. Lisa's mother-in-law is like really rude to her, but Lisa kills her with kindness. In one of the next scenes, Lisa's husband is trying to catch a cab with his daughter and her friend next to her. He can't get one and one of the cab drivers is just not letting him in, so he gets frustrated and starts yelling at him and banging on the window. Little does he know, his mother saw him do that along with her sorority sisters. But his mom is embarrassed that he's yelling and acting out in public. So she totally ignores him and his daughter, even though Gabrielle's yelling, Nana, Nana, she's just ignoring them and keeps walking. Later, his mom barges into his bedroom like, what were you thinking earlier acting a fool like that? You should never act out in public, you should always keep your cool, etc. Lisa makes a joke and says his mom is right because if he were ever to get arrested, she would find a way to blame her for it. Moving on to Charlotte and her kids, Lily here wants a new keyboard. Her parents tell her she needs to save up money if she wants a new keyboard, so she decides to sell her entire closet. Charlotte is freaking out because Lily sold a very special Chanel dress that she got for her. So Charlotte tries to get a hold of the store called The Real Deal, a spin-off of The Real Real, to get the dress back. Then Lily does a performance for the family and just look at their faces. She's singing about, I'm a good girl and I can't be me. And Anthony's like, who is this, Billie Eilish? But of course, they all still want to be supportive. But Charlotte still wants the dress back, so she drags Carrie along to the store. The sales associate is not being very helpful, but Carrie is trying to be supportive. She tells Charlotte that maybe Lily just outgrew the dress. But Charlotte is nervous that Lily is just rejecting everything she's ever given her. Also in part 1, I mentioned that Naya called Miranda venting about her husband. You remember in part 1, her husband had a girl in the hotel room and they were working on music together. He tells Naya that nothing has happened, he hasn't cheated on her, but he has been tempted to. But he says that he wants them to work out together and he wants a surrogate. Also, Seema tries to give her ex a chance after talking to her hairdresser. I guess she took his advice. They're back together, but then he asks her to invest into a nightclub with him and drop $100,000. He would also invest $100,000 and they would go in as partners. She's like, what's the club called? Red Flag? And he's like, no, this is a legit investment. But then she dumps him again. And that was episode 2. Stay tuned for episode 3.